Hey friends, how's it going? Ash here. Hope that you're doing well. Fresh fragrances are just about the easiest type of fragrance you could ever wear. For the most part, almost nobody is going to think that your fresh, clean fragrance smells disgusting.
Ew, that is f***ing disgusting, dude.
Same thing doesn't always go for a leather fragrance or tobacco fragrance. I love them, but not everybody else might.
It's the best. Love it.
And today I've got for you guys 10 different fresh fragrances that are supremely easy to wear, super versatile, big compliment pullers. Basically, it's like wearing fragrances on easy mode. All 10 of these are going to be linked in the description below. Feel free to check them out down there. Let's jump straight into it with one of my newer pickups. This one right here, MCM Onyx. It's got a cool bottle, or at least I think it's kind of cool. I've seen a lot of crazy bottles in my day, so one that looks like a little backpack with a carrying handle, I don't know, it doesn't seem that weird to me anymore. Maybe at some point you go back in time and you show this to me, I'd be like, what is this? But nowadays, oh, quaint. It's got a built-in atomizer right here at the top, which is actually pretty decent. Let's go ahead and do a couple sprays here. It's like almost pressurized feeling. And this is one I've had my eyes on for a while, but hadn't picked up until recently. I did one of those things that I do from time to time where I just go through a discounter, I sort by newest, and I just go page to page to page, adding things until I feel like, yeah, that's enough. That'll go ahead and take care of the buying addiction for a little bit. And this was one of those. So yeah, about 60 bucks, bottle size, 75 mils. Unfortunately, not a full 100 mil size bottle, but it's okay. And in terms of how this smells, it's actually a bit like Sauvage meets Invictus. Definitely leaning more toward the Sauvage side of things. So Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette, Eau de Parfum, not the parfum or elixir. It smells like that with just a little bit of Creed Invictus sprinkled in. So you have off the top a little bit of grapefruit, ginger, and pink pepper. It's zingy, it's very fresh. Again, a bit reminiscent of Sauvage, especially with how the lavender comes across here in the mid. Then as it dries down, you've got vetiver, clearwood, and a little bit of tonka, so you have a little bit of sweetness there as it dries down. This is one you can use year-round, spring, summer, fall, winter, daytime, nighttime, doesn't matter. And one good thing for a lot of people is it's not quite as like punchy with the metallic ambroxan as Sauvage is. It's gonna remind you of Sauvage. It's just not quite as aggressive. It's a little bit smoother, which could, I guess, remind you a little bit of Luna Rosa Carbon to an extent also. Not the same as that one, just kind of overarching style. And not many people are wearing this one. Not too many people know about this one, so it flies under the radar also. Now I mentioned that I picked this one up from JOMASHOP. If you shop at JOMASHOP, here are some codes you can use to save money, but you do have to use them within the JOMASHOP app. They will only work there. Also, those codes do change from time to time, so make sure that you're up to date with the newest codes to make sure they work. And then there are also some codes for a bunch of other websites as well, in case you shop at any of those that you see on your screen there. Let's go with the really obvious one up next. Aqua de Joe Eau de Toilette. This is the newer iteration. And I do think if you're kind of trying to determine, should I seek out the newer version of Aqua de Joe Eau de Toilette or the previous version, like which one should I get? I think you should get the newer one. And you can tell which is which by the bottle itself. So this one, the newer version that I have in my hand here, it has a gradient. So it's like frosted up at the top, and then at the very bottom here, it goes clear. The older version is just frosted all the way. It doesn't have this gradient. And I think for most people, like people who are shopping for a new fragrance nowadays, the new version works a little bit better. It is a little less floral than the original version of Aqua de Joe Eau de Toilette. It's a bit more citrusy, aquatic, fresh. Like I said, it just kind of removes some of those more floral aspects from the scent. And as a contemporary scent profile, the newer version works better for more people. That being said, for me, I like them both, okay? I've worn Aqua de Joe Eau de Toilette for a long time. But yeah, when we're talking Aqua de Joe, frankly, even though I have the Eau de Toilette here, it doesn't really matter. Whichever one you like the most, that's the one you should be wearing. So whether that's this one, the Eau de Parfum, the Parfum, or Profundo, or even Profundo Parfum, which is my least favorite of all the versions right now, Aqua de Joe, in general, as a line, in terms of fresh fragrances, that's about as easy as you can get. There's a reason that this fragrance right here has been a best-selling fragrance ever since it came out. And that's because it works, people like it, it's versatile, it gets compliments, and people rebuy it over and over. Let's go with another newer one, Gucci Guilty Love Edition, and this is the new Love Edition, 2024/2025. Technically, it came out right at the very end of 2024. So I guess you could technically call it Guilty Love Edition 2024, but realistically, when people are like judging this against other things that came out in the same year, I would imagine it's gonna be bumped up against things that came out in 2025. So anyway, this one, really simple note breakdown, 3 notes. Not a heck of a lot going on there. Juniper, orange blossom, amberfix. That's it, that's your note breakdown. Which is a really similar note breakdown to YSL's Myself. Really, the only difference, or the main difference, is gonna be in the opening, where this has juniper, Myself has bergamot. And it's kind of in a similar style to Myself. It's got that very clean orange blossom aspect to it. It's creamier though than Myself. It's not quite as zingy. It's not quite as bright off the top, but still, just like Myself, really, really pleasant, extremely easy to wear. And this one is very versatile also. You can wear this pretty much any season. Spring, summer, fall, winter, day and night, again, does not matter. It's got a little bit more of a deep sweetness to it for me compared to Myself Eau de Parfum. It almost has like kind of a vanilla aspect as it dries down, but still smells great. Another one that in the air, people love, which makes sense because like I said, it's kind of playing in that Myself wheelhouse, and that scent profile just works. Now, a fragrance that I like a lot that is very simple, but extremely easy to wear, Legend Blue from Mont Blanc. And this is one that keeps going down in terms of price at discounters, which makes sense. Most Mont Blanc fragrances don't cost that much. We're talking Fragrance Buy, Fragrance Net, JOMASHOP, etc., etc. And this one is gonna remind you a bit of Parfums de Marly Percival. Of course, that means it's also gonna remind you of the original Legend and of Abercrombie & Fitch Fierce. But it's a little bit more of like a fresher, aquatic almost take on Legend. I think that it is super, super nice. Really, really easy to wear. Like I said, it's not crazy complex. This isn't something that you're spraying on when you want to be like, hey, check this out. Check out the opening, okay? Now wait a second. Check it again. That's right. It's different. Wait. Check it again. That's right. It changed again. It's a chameleon. The fragrance will adapt to your pH of your body. It's different for everyone. It's amazing. It's not really what's going on here. With this one, you just go, oh, that's nice. And that's enough for me. So in terms of notes, you have lavender and mint off the top, a really nice, pleasant combination. A little bit of sweetness, very brisk, fresh, clean. As it dries down, you have woods, you have ambroxan, a little bit of moss as well in the base. And it's just a really nice, inexpensive alternative to Percival, and like I said, a fresher take on that Legend DNA. Now, since I talked about this one earlier, go ahead and just pop it out there now. YSL's Myself. Feel like you can't really talk about fresh fragrances nowadays without at least bringing this one up. And that's because this is quite possibly the most popular fresh style fragrance out there today. It hit in a monstrous way when this fragrance came out, just immediately became one of the best selling men's fragrances in the world. And as I said before, no breakdown, really close to Guilty Love Edition over here. You have bergamot off the top, we've got orange blossom there in the mid, amberfix, and then I believe patchouli as well, assuming I'm not remembering that incorrectly. If I am, woo! This one is just unbelievably simple to wear. Anywhere, anytime, does not matter. It has a little bit of like a clean clothing, sweet, clean clothing aspect to it. Very zingy, bright, fresh, clean off the top. A little sweet, little zingy from that citrus. And then the orange blossom as it dries down, very smooth. And it maintains that sweetness from the opening into the mid, into the dry down, which really helps with its mass appeal. Just smells absolutely killer in the air. Huge compliment puller, just kind of magnetic, this one. After that, Jimmy Choo Man Aqua. So this is a fragrance that will not impress you if you're looking for something that is way out of the norm, out of the ordinary, which, to be fair, if we're talking fresh designers, most of them aren't that far removed from the ordinary. That's kind of what they're going for, right? Something recognizable, something approachable. And truth be told, the first time I smelled this, I was like, yeah, I mean, it's fine. You know, it's okay. Nice atomizer on these, by the way. Ooh, Jimmy Choo Man always has really nice ones. Note breakdown wise, you got grapefruit there off the top, little cardamom, aquatic notes, clary sage, patchouli, and moss. Anyway, like I said, when I first smelled this one, I was like, it's okay. You know, it's whatever. But as I wore it more, I was like, oh, you know, this is not too bad. It's got this kind of aromatic flair to it that when you smell it, sometimes it'll make you think a little bit of like fragrances from even the 90s, but done in a modern way, which I like that. That's pretty cool. And then my wife and other people that have smelled this have been like, oh, that's actually really, really good. And I've said this a bunch, but one way to make yourself like a fragrance a lot more as you wear it is to get compliments while wearing it. You'll be like, oh, it is pretty good, huh? Yeah, I knew that. That's kind of what happened with this one. The price isn't that bad. Performance is okay, at least for an aquatic fragrance. It's not really that strong, but I'll let it slide. And surprisingly, believe it or not, Jimmy Choo Man Aqua is actually way more popular than you might expect. Because for 2023, this was in the top 35 best-selling men's fragrances. I know that doesn't sound all that high, but when you take into consideration how many different fragrances are out there, it's actually pretty good. I mean, I would like one of my fragrances to be in the top 35 bestsellers, that's all I'm saying. By the way, all 5 of my fragrances, which you see back here, South Slope, Edgewater, West Loop, Jet Black Enigma, Terra Nova. You can find all 5 of those in every Perfumania and fragrance outlet store in the United States. I creatively directed all of those and they're released underneath the Michael Malone brand. All right, this next one is another aquatic fragrance. So we got Jimmy Choo Man Aqua and we got Invictus Aqua. Now here's the issue with Invictus Aqua. Not the easiest to find. And this is the 2024 iteration, the re-release of Invictus Aqua. Yeah, it's a whole thing. Came out with it, everybody loved it. They discontinued it. They brought it back, but it was a little bit different. People didn't love it as much. They discontinued it. They brought it back, but they made it hard to find. What are they smoking? And I'm gonna show you this, because this is just kind of like, so I'm on Raban's website here, right? Raban, you see it there. Invictus Aqua. We've heard you loud and clear. Invictus Aqua is back in limited quantities, exclusively on Raban.com, available at airports. What? Look guys, we've heard you loud and clear. We know that you love Invictus Aqua, so we're bringing it back exclusively on our website. Actually, we mean in airports, not our website actually. What? So, if you're traveling through an airport though, and you happen to see Invictus Aqua, check it out. I'm hopeful that they'll actually release it online or that discounters will somehow be able to get their hands on enough of them to make them available to people. But as of right now, that's where things stand. In terms of notes, they dumbed it down, yay. Grapefruit, aquatic notes, and amberwood, but they did do a great job of bringing out the original Invictus Aqua again with this one. It smells really close. And to my nose, it is infinitely better than the first Invictus Aqua re-release. Really solid performance. It's bubblegummy sweet, but fresh. It's a great smelling aquatic with a bit of minerality to it as well. During spring and summer and also fall, this stuff is amazing if you're after compliments. It's just hard to find. Then we got Polo 67 from Ralph Lauren. This is another one that's kind of in that overarching myself style. Absolutely not the same as myself. They are not redundant to own both of these, but it is one of those things where I'd say if you like this, you'll probably like that, and vice versa. At full retail, Polo 67, not too expensive, but unfortunately, at least as of this video, it's not very consistently in stock at discounters. I would assume at some point that changes and you'll be able to find this for, I don't know, 50 bucks or something, and at that point, steal. In terms of notes, off the top, you've got a lot of fruit. You have pineapple, bergamot, and lemon. You've got sage and juniper as it dries down, then patchouli and vetiver, along with goldenrod in the base. Don't see that very often. Goldenrod. Makes me think of Dennis from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. So close. Just one letter off. Somebody out there gets that. Golden God, goldenrod.
I am God.
This one is aromatic and also nice and sweet off the top with that pineapple citrus combination. It's classy, but at the same time has kind of like a sporty aspect to it, which you would probably expect from a Polo Blue fragrance. I guess it's not technically a Polo Blue, but I mean, it kind of is, right? And this is one of my favorite releases of last year. It's one of those ones that I think you don't have to really think too much about when you spray it on, but that's its strong suit. It's one of those ones you just grab, spray, and go. Y Eau de Toilette is my next choice, and there are a few different ones you could go with in this line, but I think if we're talking fresh and a little bit sweet, Y Eau de Toilette is a very, very safe choice. This one gets overlooked all the time. People love to talk about Eau de Parfum, Y Le Parfum, and for good reason. They're really, really good also, but this one, nah, people just kind of write it off a lot of times. But it's just as good, if not more versatile than those two. And this is one that had a reformulation, a remake, a redo, a re-release. The original Y Eau de Toilette was discontinued, kind of quietly, and then they popped out this new version right after. And it's similar in a lot of ways, but slightly improved, which doesn't happen that often. A lot of times when something is quietly discontinued and then kind of brought back out at the same time, the changes are not always met with open arms, right? But this one did it right. You've got bergamot and ginger off the top, very clean, a little bit sweet, extremely appealing. Lavender, clary, sage, geranium in the mid, and then cedar, vanilla, olibanum, and ambergris as it dries down. It is similar in a lot of ways to Y Eau de Parfum, which makes sense, but this one is, as you would expect, a bit fresher, not quite as sweet, not as heavy, more wearable, more versatile, especially during spring and summer. And it's a Y fragrance. So, you know, as far as mass appeal goes, that's about as mass appealing as you get. Last but not least, the new Le Beau, well, newer Le Beau, it's Paradise Garden. I say that because as of when I'm filming this video, they've announced the new Le Beau Flower Edition, but it's not out yet. So I guess I can't really call this one the newest one now, since there's a new one that's about to be out. And this stuff is lovely, so nice for spring and summer. Nice sweet one as well. It's got a good amount of fig in there, coconut, kind of a green aquatic note as well. All three of the Le Beau fragrances that are out are absolutely amazing for getting positive attention. So talking about this one, of course, and then Le Beau and Le Beau Le Parfum. And if we're talking warm weather fragrances for Le Beau, I think Paradise Garden is better than Le Parfum. Le Parfum is gonna be more like fall, winter, a little better suited for that. And the original Le Beau, also really, really good. Don't get me wrong, that one during spring, summer, fall, real nice. But I think when you're wanting to wear something sweet, but it's warm outside, that is one of the absolute best things you can possibly wear. There we go, guys. 10 different fresh fragrances. All of these will get the job done. All of them really, really, really simple to pull off. With pretty much everything here, you don't really have to put much thought into where you're going, what you're doing. These are just grab, spray, go type scents. I want to thank you guys for hanging with me as always. Thank you for all the years of support. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.